Hello YouTube, this is Detroit Borg, and today we're going to unbox the new Kindle 3 from Amazon. This is the Wi-Fi only model. It's available in Wi-Fi or Wi-Fi with 3G. The Wi-Fi model will run you $139 and the 3G model will run you $189. So let's go ahead and crack this open. There's a little tab to pull this open. Just lift it up. There we go. Now taking a look at the box, we can see there's a frame up here to protect the Kindle itself while shipping, and the Kindle just sits in here. It's wrapped in plastic. Okay, let's put this aside. Under the Kindle we find a little booklet. I'm getting a little instruction booklet getting started. Very neat. And underneath we have the wires. So we have a USB cable and a power adapter, so this should come right out. There's a USB cable and the USB power adapter. So this is a micro USB port. So that's the box. It looks like it's mostly made out of paper, so it's recyclable. Now taking a look at the Kindle itself, again it's wrapped in plastic. So I'm just going to take the plastic off. Looks like two sheets of plastic. Now this is the Wi-Fi only model, which is only available in this dark graphite color. Wi-Fi with 3G is actually available in black or white. Now the material itself is a textured plastic, so it's more grippable. The back itself has a rubber feel to it. You can actually see the seam where the rubber back panel is. And back here we actually have the speaker outlets. And we can see the screen itself is actually very flush to the body, so if we look, you can see it's pretty low profile. And down here, of course, we have the keys, a QWERTY keyboard with some navigation controls. And on the side, we have the page turning button, so we have the page forward and page backward, and they're duplicated on the left side. On the left side, we have these inlets for electrical connections. There's two of them. This allows cases with lights to actually utilize the battery of the Kindle itself to power the light. I have ordered one of those, and I expect those to arrive soon. So on the bottom, we have a volume rocker, the headphone output, the micro USB, and the power switch. And we also have a little microphone next to the headphone jack. Now if I look at the screen, it's telling me to plug this in to charge it, so it wants me to plug in the USB cable, connect it to either a computer or the power adapter that came with the Kindle. And once it's fully charged, we can just slide this to turn it on. So let's go ahead and see how much charge is on there right now. It should work. Now you can see there's actually a light down here, so it's telling me that it's on, and the screen should refresh momentarily. There we go. Okay, so we're booted to the main screen, and it's giving me a message thanking me for purchasing the Kindle. Now let's go over some of the stats on the new Kindle. Amazon says that the screen has 50% better contrast than any other e-reader, the clearest text and sharpest images. I already noticed that the screen is also much faster than the Kindle before and the Nook I currently own. Amazon also says that the battery life will last up to a month with Wi-Fi turned off. It's also telling us that it has a quieter page turn button, so if we click the turn button we can see it's pretty quiet. And again, it's very fast. It's much faster than the Nook I currently own. It also has some built-in Facebook and Twitter integration. It measures about 7.5 inches by 4.8 inches, which is quite a bit smaller than the 8 by 5.3 second generation Kindle. Now Amazon says that the Kindle is 21% smaller, but retains the same 6-inch reading area. It's 15% lighter, has a 50% improved screen contrast, crisper, darker fonts with double the storage, faster and quieter page turns with built-in Wi-Fi, enhanced PDF reader with soft touch textured back panel for easy grip and handling. It also has a new WebKit based browser, which is the same platform underpinning Apple's Safari browser. Okay, I've logged into my Wi-Fi network. The next thing I want to do is register my Kindle. Let's go to register. Again, I'm using this little D-pad controller here. And I'll just need to enter my email address so I can type it in with this keypad. Now that I've registered with Amazon, I see that two of my books I've purchased previously have already loaded. So if I go to archived items, I'll see Evolution. So it's downloading the item. And there it is. In fact, that's where I left off when I was reading it with the Kindle. Now if I tap this key, I'm able to change the font size. All I have to do is use the directional keys to select the font size I want. And you can see it automatically changes it. Again, it's very quick display. You can also change the typeface to sans serif. Let's type the font key again. And we can select words per line, line spacing, large, medium, etc. Screen rotation, so we can change the rotation. The menu on the Kindle is pretty straightforward. If you press the home key, you're taken to a very straightforward list. Now to get back to the home screen, all I have to do is press the home key. And if you press the menu key, you get some other options. You can turn your wireless off. You can shop in the Kindle store, view archived items, do search, create a new collection, sync and check for items, adjust your settings, and go to experimental. The first thing I want to do is go to shop in the Kindle store. And here we can search by books, newspapers, magazines, etc. Again, you use the D-pad to navigate. So I want to search in books, and I'm just going to start typing The Road. So there we go. There is The Road by Cormac McCarthy. If I want that book, just use the D-pad again to select, press the center button to OK it. And I can navigate around. I can try a sample, add to wish list, or buy. If I click buy, it's $7.99. So let's go to buy. Thank you for purchase. We are sending you your item, and it will automatically appear in your home screen when the download is complete. So if I go to home screen, it would appear here once it's finished downloading. So there it is, The Road. So let's click on The Road. Here we go. Now let's go back to menu. And when we press menu while we're in the book, we can search this book. We can see the book description. We can sync to the furthest read page. So for example, if you're reading this book on your iPhone or iPad or on your Mac or PC or your Android phone, it will automatically sync to where you last left off. You can search this book, so if we click search, you can search for a term. You can add a bookmark, add a note, or highlight. Let's try that. So all you have to do to highlight is scroll to a point in the text you want, press the center key, scroll the words you want to highlight, click the center key again, and you can see there's an underline, so that text is highlighted. Now let's go back to menu. So we can view my notes and marks now. And there we go. Let's go back to menu. And let's go to view popular highlights. I'm not sure what that's about. So I guess these are passages from the book that are highlighted by other users. That's an interesting feature. So there's a bit of social networking here. Now let's go to home. Now I'm not going to go to settings because it does reveal personal information about this device. But if I go to experimental, this is where things get a little fun. We have a web browser. Again, this is the WebKit web browser. So let's go ahead and launch that. And I already did a test, so I see my Google search, my last Google search here. So I've already done a test here. I already loaded a Google search. So let me just type in apple.com. So there we go. Now we can see that we can fly around here, and you can zoom up. So we got a little box with a magnifying glass. I have a little mouse to pan around. Again, you're using this D-pad to navigate around. So let's just go to the new iMac page. So again, we see it selected. There's a square around it. We're going to select on that by pressing the center key. It should load it, and there it goes. So there we go, there's the new iMac. Now if you press the menu key when you're in the browser, you do get some other options. You can enter a URL, you can zoom in, you can go to article mode, which will remove the images. So let's go to article mode and see what happens. Sorry, article mode was unable to detect an article on this page. Please note that the article mode was intended for use on individual article pages and not home pages. Okay, so that page is not ideal for that mode. So let's go back to menu. Let's go back to experimental. There's also an MP3 player in here. Unfortunately, there's no music on here, so I'd have to add music to test it out. So let's just close that. Now, there is a text-to-speech feature on the Amazon Kindle. It's pretty easy to activate. All you have to do is hold the Shift and symbol key down at the same time, and it will automatically start reading the text for you. Unfortunately, I don't have any books that are authorized to use this feature, so I can't test it for you. Again, this is a publisher-authorized feature, so many publishers have chosen not to allow it on the Kindle. Amazon has also added some bookmarks. So we have Wikipedia, Google, Yahoo, New York Times, BBC, Facebook, Twitter, and ESPN, the IMDb, etc. You can also bookmark this page, and I've already done that. You can go to browser settings. You can clear cookies, disable JavaScript, disable images, clear history, etc. I don't have the earlier Kindles to compare it to. I do have a Nook. So let's compare this to a Nook. We can see that it is quite a bit smaller than the Nook, and I already noticed it's also quite a bit lighter. So this is bigger, and the Kindle is certainly much thinner than the Nook itself. You can see the back now. Both have sort of rubbery surfaces on the back, so they're nice and grippable. There is no numeric keypad, which is quite inconvenient to enter things into. That means you have to invoke the symbol keypad. So in order to get to numbers, you have to actually toggle over to the symbols or numbers themselves. With the Kindle, you can just you get a full keyboard on here, just like an iPhone or iPod Touch. Let me turn that on. The screen is the same size, but the dark levels are much deeper on this, so the fonts and the images and the contrast is much better. Now I have to say I do like the Nook's user interface a lot better than the Kindle itself, but the Kindle is quite a bit faster, and that's a very important difference. So the web browsing experience, the navigation menu experience is much faster on the Amazon Kindle, so it does make it easier to use. Now hopefully this will be updated for that as well. Of course, if you compare it to an iPad, it is quite a bit smaller, and it certainly is quite a bit lighter, and it's also much easier to use in broad daylight. So, for example, if you put a light under this, you do get a lot of glare, but under this you get very little glare. You do get some glare, but this tends to get washed out in sunlight. So this is indeed much better to bring outside with you. Now let's just take a look at the Kindle screen at close-up, and we can see that it is quite vivid. You can actually see some pixels there, and that's largely because the resolution is quite sharp and the colors are quite dark, so there is indeed a much higher contrast ratio than that of the previous Kindle or the Nook I'm using now. Again, you can read pretty small text on here. And taking a closer look at the keyboard again, you can see that the keys are pretty small. They do have little bumps in the center for tactile feel. And I do notice that every time I handle the Kindle, it's kind of hard not to press these buttons on the side. Every time I grab it, I am pressing these buttons, which is I'm not too thrilled about. So maybe if it's in a case, it'll be a little easier to use. Unlike the Nook, this cannot be opened by the user, so this panel can't be taken off. And so you can't add memory, you can't change the battery, that sort of thing. So once again, guys, this is Detroit Borg with a quick unboxing and tour of the new Amazon Kindle 3. Thanks for watching.